like to thank the fine people at Coca-Cola for making my Mountain Dew Zero tax deductible. It's still fizzing. Hello, everyone. I am Mecha Random 42, the one, the only, the original, your favorite YouTube consumer advocate, Harpy. It looks like I made the right decision on what chemicals to ingest on a daily basis. After all, they do. Mountain Dew Zero. Have you seen the little gizmo? Gizmo commercial. Oh, it's so cute. They got Gizmo. He's so cute. Anywho, we're ripping on Coke. We're ripping on Coca-Cola, who used to have cute little cola bears back in the... Didn't they get rid of them? Didn't they get rid of the cola bears? Because I know they had Santa for a while in the 80s when they had the Santa Cokes back in the... Oh man, Coke was always a thing. Coke was always a thing. I knew people who collected Coke merchandise, but always drank Pepsi. And Mountain Dew is owned by Pepsi. I like how the can looks super black with the chroma key. It just removes all of the green from it. Anywho, we're talking about Coca-Cola and how they don't want customers, money, and or employees. I guess they want employees to find a reason to form a giant class action lawsuit of some sort because Coca-Cola has released some sensitivity training. Some sensitivity training instructing their... Well, it was leaked. They didn't release it. Oh, my magic doesn't work. Oh, no. There you go. Employees take training on how to be less white. Oh, you know it's coming. You know it's coming. Coke. That worked very well. Coca-Cola. All right. What is being, how is it a way to, be white? Let's just read this article, shall we? So this is from the Washington Examiner. There is a follow-up to this we're going to be getting into, and some rants probably, and some lectures on how you don't judge people based on how they were born. And not to stereotype, because we all know that stereotyping all people as thinking the same way based on a superficial trait is actually ist. It is actually very, very, very ist. And anti what we've always been taught, dealing with coming together as a society and realizing that we have more things in common. We are all the same underneath. We are all the same. And we have a lot more in common because it's usually us versus them, isn't it? It's usually us versus the powers that be. It's the little guys who they want fighting amongst ourselves to say, oh, no, you two groups, go after each other again. You've been getting along for far too long and things have been going far too well. And you're starting to realize that we're all in control at the top. We're all up there pulling the strings. We're all these puppet masters because of our elitism and our billions and billions and billions of dollars that we have. But you know what? Fine. Yeah, see that person there? Yeah, he's more privileged than you. Go fight amongst yourselves like good little pawns. That's what they want. We're smarter than that. We know better than that because we've been coming together ever since they've started pulling this shit. They've been pulling this shit with Star Wars, with Star Trek, by saying that, oh, the only people who hate this are old white dudes. And now it's bleeding into this crap. It's bleeding into this crap. And you know who I blame? I blame these little college girls who actually have never seen a person of another ethnicity. These little white Karen college girls. These little white women on their cell phones while they're in school texting because daddy told them they were a princess when they were little girls and they were mad at him because they were told, hey, some white people did some bad things a while back and some systems were set up in place for said white people to stay in this power, these certain people. But over time, you have a populace of the society that are actually not really all that different from each other. Not all that different from each other in a lot of ways. Some people have a little bit more than others. Some people have a little bit less. Some people have a few more opportunities and a few more lucky shots, lucky strikes. Some people get struck by lightning and some people don't. Some people, that's redundant. You guys all know that. So the little girls are in college. They're texting away about, yes, LOL, white man bad. And that's all they hear. That's all they hear back because they're too busy on their phones to pay attention and understand what they're actually being taught. But of course, what they're actually being taught is a bunch of BS from people who genuinely feel that people who look like me are I'm not, trust me, I'm not superior to anybody. I am not based on these seriously, no. And they'll say that that's privilege saying that too, won't they? There's no way to say I'm not any better than anybody else. Also, I hate having to dig so deep into the ancestry that I mean, because it doesn't matter that I've got French, Irish, Native American, Jewish, German, all these ethnicities. What does it matter? Like, we're so far beyond this stuff that people in this country are made up of all kinds of things. Everybody's family has somebody who's made up of something a little different, a little spicier over here, a little more vanilla over there. That's how we come together as a society. Here's me, the old hippie talking, the hippie with the frickin' dulcimer. We're about a minute away from going in the crop circle field. Well, I'll try not to get there. We're gonna try and get through this article. So seriously, what? Be less. What? How? Is that a type? Is that a thing? You're just telling me that you don't want my money, basically. Fine, I'm a Mountain Dew person anyway. Coca-Cola is making employees go through racism training that teaches the company's workers how to be less white. Shoe polish? Is that? No, I don't. And you wouldn't. Don't do that because Sarah Silverman got canceled for that, I think. Or no, she's okay. She's allowed to because reasons. I'm confused. I'm confused, and I need an adult. I am one. I don't want to be. Can I not adult anymore? Is it my turn? Because I'm so tired of these people who go around saying, I can't adult, being the ones who are ruining everything for everybody else by having their opinions and being in charge of companies who do this shit. What? This seems like blatant racial discrimination. To this employment lawyer, said lawyer Hernette K. Dillon on Twitter in response to the training. Dillon was responding to a post that shared images of the training allegedly being taught by Coca-Cola. These images are from an internal whistleblower. The tweet said, along with many images from the training. Oh yay. And here we go. Here's the tweet. Oh, I've seen this girl. I've seen this Carlin Supports Banning. I've seen her on Twitter. I should follow her. We should follow her. All right. These images are from a whistleblower. Confronting isms and phobias. Confronting racism. Understanding what it means to be white. Challenging what it means to be racist. I thought I meant hating people based on the color of their skin.
Racism. Noun. A belief that race is a fundamental determinant of human traits and capacities, and that racial differences produce an inherent superiority of a particular race. Also, behavior or attitudes that reflect and foster this belief. Racial discrimination or prejudice. The systemic oppression of a racial group to the social, economic, and political advantage of another. Specifically, white supremacy. A political or social system founded on racism and designed to execute its principles.
Now that that's clear, I was arguing with somebody on Twitter about that earlier. To be less white is to be less oppressive, be less arrogant. I was always the lowest level employee. How? First off, I don't know. I always worked like retail, and I was always like the minimum wage one. I was never a manager. Actually, all my managers were either. I had an Armenian woman as a manager one time. I had a Filipino woman as a manager another time. Hispanic woman, or Latinx as they like to call as another manager one time. I'm confused by that. Is that maybe Coca-Cola because of the owners of the company or something? But then that would be just to them. That would be to the top tier owners of Coca-Cola, right? Be less arrogant. I had a coworker who was the most arrogant. He had a degree in fashion merchandising. This person came in as a lowest tier retail worker, right alongside me, like my level. So part-time, early morning. It was in-store marketing at the time was the job position, right? So early morning. And this guy would volunteer people for tasks. He was acting like a manager. He was acting managerial. He was acting like the boss. He would be like, yeah, hey, we can go and do that. Like, don't you volunteer me. I'm doing something over here. I've got my assignments. Just that sort of thing. And if I were, and I still remember this because this guy was just an arrogant jerk. He was a jerk. He was one of those guys said, oh, you need to learn how to do sports ball, or you need to talk about sports ball to get a man. And I'm like, first off, I already have somebody. I'm not looking, and don't you freaking talk down to me. Just an arrogant jerk. Just one of those people. And I'm going to let you decide what this person looked like for yourself, but I will assure you that there is no way in hell I was going to tell that person to be less white. Just a lesson about how stereotypes are stupid and people who stereotype are stupid. You're stupid, whoever wrote up this course. You're not very bright. You really, really aren't. Be less certain. Be less defensive. Be less ignorant. Be more humble. Listen, believe, break with apathy. Break with white solidarity. All right, so don't have any apathy. So I have to... This sounds like being bullied into a cult to me. This sounds like, here, believe and care about this cause, or else we are going to attack and swarm. This sounds like cult bullying. This sounds like jumping somebody into a gang. Right? Be more humble, listen, be less defensive. Yeah, put your guard down. Put your head down. Take the blame for... What did I do other than being born? So you're mad at me for being born because you think all people that look like me are superior in some way. And this isn't supposed to sound crazy to anyone. This isn't supposed to sound crazy to anyone because I'm one of those people. You guys have seen the Woodstock guitar in the background. I'm one of those people who, like I said, you don't stereotype everybody as being the same thing. To stereotype all minorities as being less than, as being incapable, as being unable, as being less than yourself.
Specifically, white supremacy.
We're people. Can you stop with the breaking us all down into these stereotypes that are frankly outdated and just plain offensive? I'm so tired of hearing this. In the U.S. and other Western nations, white people are socialized to feel that they're inherently... No, we're not. No, we're not. I was never... anybody else? No, we're not. The only people who actually think that they are these people who have to go around speaking on behalf of those who they feel are less than.
Specifically, white supremacy.
And that's what you see every time. And there's a guy on Star Trek who did this. Pretty much every time I see one of these actors or one of these people in Hollywood, they will admit to doing something horrifically racist and assume everybody else does. They will admit to using a racial slur like this. And I'm not even going to bring up his tweet. But you've probably seen me quote tweet it if you follow me on Twitter. We see this sort of stereotyping, and they say just because they did it, they just assume everybody else did. I am appalled. I have heard more N-words from the current sitting president today.
True international effort to pressure.
Mm-hmm. So you're telling... try...
At this time, we'd like to interrupt this rant to prevent it from becoming too political in nature. Thank you for your patience.
Can you be less stereotypical? Can you stereotype less? Can you do that? Because I've come across people of all walks of life who have been, at one point or another, every one of these traits. But hey, maybe people just don't like logic. Maybe we're just taken over by this cult of people who honestly think that they're better than everybody else.
Specifically, white supremacy.
That's what it really feels like to me. It feels like we're honestly being taken over by people who really, really legit believe that they are superior, and I feel so sorry for them, and I'm kind of envious. I'm kind of envious that they get away with everything. Aren't you? I'm a little envious. But, well, this Coca-Cola article, like I said, has some backlash. There's some updates to it. Facing backlash says, Be Less White, learning plan was about workplace inclusion. Inclusion! Well, can't we just treat everybody with respect, dignity, and integrity? Treat them like they're adults who need to show up on time, do their work, or is that's somehow ist now? Hard work is now ist because the racists who put all this shit in place think that people who are not white can't do any better? Coca-Cola is facing mounting backlash from conservatives online. Oh, and Kennedy-era Democrats, classic liberals, centrists, libertarians, alien observers to your world, people who are apolitical, people who actually know the definition of racism and don't like to stereotype, anybody with a brain. Just anybody with a brain. Can we stop just labeling anybody with a brain as conservative? It's kind of an odd stereotype, but sure. I mean, I guess if you really want to call everybody under the planet who isn't a complete and utter moron a conservative, I mean, sure, why not? Why not? I certainly don't have very many conservative ideas, but I'm so inclusive that I don't hate them.
We once again would like to interrupt this rant to prevent it from becoming too political in nature. And now we would like to present pictures of puppies.
Oh yeah, I can't say her name. Carlin, I'm not sure. I'm not going to try and attempt it. You saw her Twitter handle. An activist who supports banning critical race theory shared images from an internal whistleblower from the company's online racism training. The slides included tips to learners on how to be less white, less arrogant, less certain, less divisive, less arrogant, and more humble. Coca-Cola's spokesperson confirmed that the course is part of the Learning Hand to help build an inclusive workplace, but also noted that the video circulating on social media is from a publicly available LinkedIn learning series and is not a focus of our company's curriculum. So they do use it. They do use that. Our Better Together global learning curriculum is part of a learning plan to help build an inclusive workplace, the spokesperson said in a statement. It's comprised of a number of short vignettes, each a few minutes long. The training includes access to LinkedIn learning on a variety of topics, including diversity, equity, and inclusion. So you can just go and choose which one. And they're basically passing the buck. That's what they're doing. They're passing the buck and saying, yeah, but we outsourced it to those people. Maybe you should have checked. Maybe you should have checked and realized how illegal it was. Isn't this against the law? Isn't racial stereotypes a violation of the civil rights movement or something? Because didn't we solve this? Isn't that why we all kind of agreed? A long time ago, before we were a bunch of idiocracy, people running around. Have they started putting Gatorade on plants yet? Is that about next week? That's probably next week, right? Proponents of critical race theory have called for white people to acknowledge the advantages of being white for a more equitable society. So you're telling me I'm superior now? That sounds a lot like white supremacists talking, doesn't it? That sounds an awful lot like somebody who really believes that they're superior. Isn't that the bad thing? Isn't believing you're better than everybody else bad?
Specifically, white supremacy.
That's what it sounds like to me. So you're saying those guys with the hoods were right? I don't like those guys. I don't want to agree with them. I don't find them to be very... the two dozen guys who are all part of the same family in the deep south somewhere, I don't want their opinions to be the ones we're going by. I just think that's a little regressive and a little racist. So if you really, really want to call that a conservative ideal, they're just doing this shit to confuse us so we fight each other by being confused. This is Yvette dragging the bodies across the room in Clue just to cause confusion, and it's working. It's working. All right. I am tired of this. It is not just conservatives. These people are out of their goddamn minds. They're just trying to confuse us so we fight each other. And that's what they're doing. So I am Mecha Random 42. I am not better than anyone based on anything. And I will see you guys on the next video, live stream, or wherever. Bye. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye!